capital is more important than making money. And you want to lock in your trades, and you also want to protect your downside at the same time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another edition of AmericanDreamTrading.com's Futures Education and Training Program. This is an outreach to all the live social networks such as TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, X, you name it. On all our social medias out there, it's a free outreach of AmericanDreamTrading.com that we provide 3 times daily. Coach is live from 9 to 11 Eastern Time. We are live with futures education from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern. And we have what we call the aftermarket show over on YouTube, which is a live feed where everybody just gets together, hangs out, and uh, talks about their trades or talks about certain subjects, whatever Dawn has on her agenda for the day. So check that out starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. So we are live 3 times a day. I'm glad you could be with us today. My name is Mark McSee. I am a moderator with AmericanDreamTrading.com, and Coach has given me this privilege of sitting here representing AmericanDreamTrading.com and talking about futures and everything futures trading related. Hopefully, we'll provide a little bit of education along the way. We may even do some live trading, but that's the whole purpose of AmericanDreamTrading.com is we are an education company. We solely focus on training, whether that's day trading, swing trading, long-term trading, dividend investing, you name it. If it can be traded, we talk about it, all the different investment vehicles. I myself am a pure day trader. I do not trade long-term investments, even though I do own some. I don't actively trade them. I just buy and hold, right? And we have a lot of members that do that, and there's trading strategies for that. It's a total different strategy from day trading. Matter of fact, it's the opposite, right? You're planning for the long-term hold, so you're evaluating your trades differently than what I would by being a day trader who's in and out, in and out, in and out of trades all day long, multiple times each and every day. So I'm there for you could call it momentum trading, right? I'm there to grab the momentum up or down to make money. Where a long-term trader is holding for a long term and hoping that their um, investment vehicle increases in value. So we are not a call out group. You will never hear us say, buy this, buy XYZ Corporation now, turn around and say, oh, um, sell XYZ. We don't do that. We're not a call out group. You get onto social medias, especially with TikTok, since that's the flavor of the year of the decade right now, right? Everybody is on TikTok. Anybody that's anybody, including AmericanDreamTrading.com. But call out groups are a dime a dozen. There's thousands of them on there, and you got people out there shouting out, buy this, sell this, get in this now, right? We don't do that because in the long term, what good does it do you? All you're doing is what somebody's saying to do: buy and sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, right? That person goes away. Well, now what do you go with? You don't have anybody to sit there and tell you to buy and sell, right? You didn't learn a skill. So our goal here is to give you a skill that will last you the rest of your life that nobody can take away from you. If American Dream Trading closes their doors, I have learned a valuable skill that nobody can take away from me, and I can continue to do on a daily basis. Is it just me or am I froze here? Uh, looks like I froze up, huh? Don't know. Let me try clicky
Your
clicky.
level 2 is, I see your level 2.
Yeah, well, my face froze up here. Close this out, see what happens here. My camera froze up. You can still hear me apparently, right? Even though my face is froze up. Uh, let's see here. What happened? Take a look here. Quick. Let me switch screens. Let me switch out of this screen to another one and see if I come back, if that makes a bit of difference.
Screen you're moving and everything.
Yeah, well, there's a delay there, so you won't. It takes 30 seconds sometimes for that to work. Some reason. See, I've ever had this problem before, so I don't know exactly what my solution to it is. I need to find my camera here. Let's see, it's one of these settings right there. Check this, see what settings I have available to me. Let me out of that. Let me go back. I've disappeared. Let me change the setting back again. Load the camera and see what happens. Now I am working, but now I am facing sideways. Oh, Lordy. Technology, huh? I've never ran across this problem before. So I'm trying to see what I can do to resolve this without stopping the feed and starting over again. I won't have to do that if I don't have to, but maybe I might have to restart this entire feed and reload my system here. Let's see. Oh, am I moving? I am. Ta-da! Okay, well now I know how to fix that problem if that happens again. Sorry about that, folks. I am now moving again. Sort of. Okay. Anyway, thank you for being here. Sorry about that little glitch there. First time I experienced my camera freezing up, so at least I've learned something different today. Yeah, worst case scenario, you have to restart your feed and then you all have to jump back in again. I didn't want to have to do that, so luckily that worked out. Anyway, we're not a call out group. We want to give you the skills to make your own decision, to be able to look at a futures contract or a stock options or a crypto chart, any of those type of things, and make your own decision. Is this a good trade? Should I be in this trade? When do I get in this trade? When do I get out of this trade? Where's my levels? How do I use indicators and such? So we want to give you that skill that nobody can take away from you. So if we would close the doors at American Dream Trading at any time, you would still be able to continue to do what we are showing you here today. And I know I am. This is my full-time vocation. I've been doing this full-time for a little over 2 years, about 2 years and about a month almost now. So I like it. It's not easy. It's a very hard thing to do, but it takes education, right? And every time you learn a new skill, whatever it is, if I want to be a brain surgeon, I got to go get the education to learn how to do it, right? And then I got to start practicing, right? How do brain surgeons practice, by the way? I don't know. I know that I don't want one of them practicing on me. So you have to acquire the skills, and then you have to put those skills into real practice, right? And then you can turn that into profit down to the road. It doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to be a millionaire because you joined American Dream Trading or any of the other places you can go on the interwebs, right? And learn how to do things. So it takes time. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to go through the pain and the energy that it takes to learn any skill, whether it's learning how to day trade or playing guitar or becoming a brain surgeon. It takes time. And you have to give yourself that time to do it, take it step by step, and be patient. So, anyway, thank you for everybody for being here on the social networks. We do broadcasts all over all of them: TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, you name it, X, it's called now, right? So we are on all the major social networks. Please subscribe if this is your first time here. Notify and share the feed while you're at it. For those of you right here now, click that share button and share this feed out with other people on your feed so that they can maybe gather some information and take a look at it. All right, so I've had an interesting day today. I did well last night trading. I did well trading this morning. I didn't trade as heavy as I usually do, but had a pretty good day. We were really active last night. We had a lot of our members trading in evening. That's one of the benefits about futures trading is that we can literally trade 23 hours per day. The futures market opens back up at 6 o'clock Eastern time, starts on Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, and then you can trade clear up to 4:15 Eastern time, which at which time CME closes down the shop for an hour, a little over an hour, and reopens back, closes at 4:15, reopens again at 6. So there's a little bit of lull there while they do whatever it is they do behind the scenes, balancing the books or whatever their computers do at the CME Group, which is Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which is in Chicago. And that's where the futures, all the data and everything is managed there. Unlike the New York Stock Exchange, obviously, is managed in New York as the London is done in London, yada, 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 right? So we had a lot of members. We were trading last night, started out a little bit slow, and then the energy picked up. Volume started coming in, and a lot of us were in the metals market, gold in particular. We had a lot of members make some serious money in gold last night. We also had members in there paper trading gold last night. So we have people practicing in real time on their paper trading slash simulated account. What is that? That is using your broker software. Now, what you see on my screen, I switched it up today. Usually I have my trading view up right now, and I still have my trading view still there. I mean, I can show you it's right there, right? There's what I usually have up that I've been showing you because I'm using that to do more of my trading directly on. But now I'm gonna just kind of keep up here with my Webull screen. Again, I'm still in a paper trading. All I gotta do is click on one of these other buttons. I can access my real account. But why I'm in training mode, talking mode, not paying attention, focus like you should be when you're in a real live trade, I use paper trading. This is a simulated account. It allows me to execute trades in real time. It executes a trade at the real price and sells it at the real price at that time. So it gets me to learning the mechanics of my software that your broker provides to you. Okay, so um, I'm going to use Webull today as the example. Coach uses Webull to trade. Obviously, this screen looks different. These are all fully customizable, right? I have my actually trade execution buttons over here. I have my L2 order book here. One chart. I got a little time thing. I have what the current price of things are here. It shows it two different places, but it also has other information that I can click on if I need to. It's showing me the volume and the prices and all that stuff. And then I have different things here. It can show me my current positions that I'm in. Obviously, here's my paper trading account balance. Webull lets you trade with 1 million fake dollars. Again, doesn't matter how much you're using, but one of the things you want to do when you're using a paper account is to treat it like you're trading real money. So unless you have $1 million in your account, don't trade $1 million, right? Uh, put 5 or 10 thousand in there and just trade your one contract at a time, because the purpose ultimately of paper trading is to learn the mechanics, how to enter a trade. Now Webull has all these widgets you can do. Let me pull this down. See, they have different widgets. There's stuff to do with quotes and paper trading. There's stocks information. There's all kinds of different widgets that I can put on my screen, right? I can click on any of these things, boom, and it goes on my screen, and then I move it to where I want, right? And you can get rid of any of them that you don't want. You just remove them. So if I wanted market overview to see what the general markets are doing, I don't know why I'd want this one in particular, but it obviously has a use or wouldn't be there, right? I don't use any of these things, right? I can put up a heat map that shows where all the things are moving. If I'm kind of watching pharmaceuticals, this will show where the bigger pharmaceutical companies, are they green or red. It changes color based on what's moving at the time. So as you can see, there's some red here. These companies are down in this sector. Now there's all kinds of different widgets. All your brokers will provide something similar to this where you can customize the view that you want. These are called widgets. And I can move these around anywhere on my screen. If I want an additional chart, I can put an additional chart on here, right? And then what you do is you link all these things together. So right now I got the S&P 500 up, the E-mini, right? Well, if I want to look at gold, bang, I click on gold, it automatically switches it to a gold chart, automatically trades changes my trade widget. So now if I hit this button, I'm trading gold. My order book changes. Everything changes related to gold. If I go to I want to trade the euro, I click on that. This is a watch list. It's just like a quick reference thing. Or ones that I trade, I can build my own custom watch list. There's 1,000 things you can trade, but I'm not trading 1,000 things. I may only be interested in my top 5 or whatever. So this is just a quick thing, watch list they call it. And then just by clicking on this, because it's linked, it instantly changes everything. So with one click, I can go to gold and bang, jump in a trade, right? So all your brokers offer. You don't have to use Webull. Coach teaches. When he teaches, he uses Webull as his broker also. A large majority of the members at American Dream Trading use Webull just so they can get the feel of it, how coach shows things. But you use whatever broker you like. It doesn't really matter which one you use. The key is getting comfortable with your brokers. And that's important. You have to know how to get in and out of a trade because that will cost you real money down the road. Over on TikTok live chat, taking a look and see. Good to see Dave. Hey, Dave. Glad to have you with us. Sergio, thoughts on SPY after hours? I don't have any thoughts on SPY after hours. I'm quite honest with you. Music Man, thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I seen you earlier today, and I had to fill in for Coach this morning, and that was nerve-wracking, believe it or not. It was kind of he had to be somewhere and couldn't get back in time, and so it was kind of a last-minute fill in. That was a different experience than what we're doing here. So over on YouTube Live, good to see everybody. Candlestick Johnny and Ralph Mafia 56, Mazda Mitch. I see your question. Can you go over in depth about the instruments that we use, like the 200, the different indicators? Sure, we can do that. What now? As you see, this is kind of the same lines that I have over here on my TradingView screen. Okay, let me pull up the gold. Well, that is the gold chart. Okay, so they're the same now. Some of these lines are different colors, but with Coach's 2.0 indicators that you get as a member, it does a lot more things here, and it colors them different. Where here you just have some lines. Kind of you got to figure out what's going on. So I like the TradingView indicators. That's why I use TradingView to do all my charting. As you can see here, I don't have any lines on my chart really because I don't use Webull to trade or chart on. I use TradingView, which is a charting software. You can find that at tradingview.com, obviously. They have their subscription-based charting software. It's used worldwide. It's one of the most popular ones out there. So you don't have to use your broker's software to do chart if you don't like it. And some brokers do have better things than others do. So it's all personal preference. But we use different indicators to help us make better informed trading decisions. Okay. Trying to clear up some of these things here on my screen, hide these so I don't clutter my screen as much. So one of the things we have is we have a 9 EMA, we have a 21 EMA, a 55 EMA, we have VWAP, which is this yellow line here. We have the 200 MA, which is in this case is my blue line. I actually had to remember which one was what because I've been using my TradingView for so long now. I very rarely come over here and look at this. Now, what does that all mean? These are trend lines. Now, there's thousands of indicators you could put on your chart. I could put the MACD and the RSI and the Fibonacci retrace. Again, there's thousands of indicators you can use. It's a matter of personal preference. However, Coach doesn't really use all those other indicators. He has over his career. He's been in the markets for this is his 33rd year. So he's used all of these extensively. He may have used the MACD. I think he did say he used the MACD for years. And then he found it was just kind of lacking some of the information that he wanted. So he searched around. And then, because you can throw all these indicators on here and your chart just gets all cluttered. And then you're overanalyzing what you're doing. Okay. So what he's done, he's kind of boiled it down to a keep it simple, stupid kind of format. So we're using these basic indicators. Of course, VWAP is the single most powerful indicator out there. The entire world uses VWAP. If you didn't have any indicator on your chart, VWAP is the go-to indicator. You could trade purely off of VWAP all day long if you wanted to. Play it above it, play it below it, right? Breaks above, breaks below. Now we use other indicators. VWAP measures typically, I believe, like 14. What it is, the difference between VWAP and these other minor indicators is VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. So let me come back to that. In contrast, the 9 EMA is only measuring the price of the candle. So the 9 is a very short term. It measures the last 9 candles on your chart and averages out the price. The 21 does the same thing, but it's using 21 candles. And the 55 obviously does the same thing, 55 candles. So if I'm on a 1 minute chart, this is the last 9 minutes. This is the last 21 minutes. This is the last 55. Now if I go to a 2 minute, right? Obviously now it's the last 18 minutes worth of candles. It's still measuring the same number of candles, it's just on a higher time frame. And as you go up, it's the same thing. Those are still there. It's measuring it over that chart that you're using. Well, I'm a scalper. I'm pretty much a pure scalper. It's not that I don't do a 2 minute EWO trading strategy. I am just 99% scalper. So I pretty much rely on my 1 minute chart. Now, can you go lower? Yeah. There's 30 seconds. There's different options you can choose. And if you click on your broker things, I can go down to 1 second if I wanted to. These candles would just be going crazy. I do use a 30-second occasionally if I'm in a larger than normal trade. I want more faster information. But as a general rule, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I'm on a 1 minute chart. So that's what these are measuring. The 9 is short term. These are measuring candles. Now, VWAP takes it a step above. It's taking the volume weighted average price. So not only does it take the price of the candles over a historical time period, it's also taking the volume and the price, current price, and then it draws its trend line also. So that's why that one's a lot more powerful. It's taking in more factors and drawing this trend line. So this is over a long period of time. This is now, in this case, it's a fixed amount. I believe it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think this measures over, it measures, of course, the current time, but it goes back, as far as you want, 14 days. I mean, as you go through, you can see it's there. So 14 positions back. So it's kind of a very reactive. It's giving you a very good average overall, taking in not only the price, but it also factors in and does the math and spits out this trend line. The 200 MA takes obviously 200 candles. That's a very long trend. So the VWAP is very strong for that reason, because not only does it do just the price, it does the volume. That's what makes it a very important one. These other ones are based solely on the price of the candles over a certain time period. The 200 is a long time period. So VWAP would be your number one strongest that you can use. The whole world uses it. Second one would be, for a longer term, would be the 200 MA. Some of your big institutional traders use a 50. You can use whatever you want. We use a 55 there. Um, Again, you can do however you like, but this is what we've done. We found this works, especially for our style of trading, right? So I don't, I don't chart here. You'll find some lines here or there, but I don't chart here. Okay. So what we do is, now having all these lines and these trend lines on my chart is one thing. Oh, it kind of looks pretty, right? Right. Looks even prettier on TradingView, right? Uh, but you have to know what this is telling you and analyze how to use this information to enter trades. If I'm a scalper, I tend to watch where the 9 is at. That is my thing. If I'm on this is a very quick, oversimplified how I trade, make my decisions. Now I am looking at the big picture before I enter a trade. Don't get me wrong. I'm analyzing, and it only takes 5 seconds. Hang on a minute here. Sorry about that. I am still looking at the big picture before I enter a trade, but then once I'm in, I want to see, if I'm scalping, I really use more heavily on the 9 EMA. That's this indicator, a white line. Okay, if I'm in a short, I want to see my candles stay underneath this 9. It's a short term. Okay. Now, so if I got in up here, I would get in on this break up here. It broke below all these other indicators, other than VWAP. Okay, so I really got to know where my 200 of VWAP is at all times. Ideally, these will be way above. Now, in this case, I still would have entered here. Now, it's not as strong of a trade because VWAP's sitting here. So when I enter this trade on the break below the 9 and it's below all the other indicators other than VWAP, will go ahead and I'll enter this short. I have no issue entering this. Now, as it approaches VWAP, and what I tell you, that's the strongest indicator of all of them, I got to be really cautious. I got to be prepared that this may hit VWAP and reject and go the other way. Now, looking at this trade, of course, in hindsight, it didn't. It actually had enough volume, enough sellers that it broke right through it. Didn't even really pause all that much, really. Now, it did bounce around a little bit. You see these wicks? That's the total price movement, but the top and bottom of the candle is where it started and where it finished. So the candles do tell you a story. When you see a long wick at the bottom, that's a buyer's candle. Why? Because the buyers are pushing the price up. Even though this candle was ultimately ended up being red because it's lower than the other one, the buyers were fighting to push the price back up. Now they didn't. Same thing down here. Down here you got wicks on the top, wicks on the bottom. So they're fighting. If you'd have been here and on a short term and watching this candle would have been bouncing up, down, bouncing up and down, right? Just like it is over here. It's deciding what to do on the next candle, right? There's actual breathe. You call it letting the candles breathe, right? You'll actually see movement. If we drop down to say a 30-second, you can see it a little bit more, right? If I do this, now this is why I don't generally trade on a 30-second, because you get scared if you see a violence here, right? If it's really going up and going down, you're like, oh my God, our thing's going to go the opposite way, and you tend to bail out of a trade sooner. The 1 minute is good because it kind of smooths out all that craziness that's going on with the 30-second candle, right? Plus, you get two candles when you're using a 30-second versus a 1 minute, right? There's 1 minute candle. So it kind of keeps you from getting all scared out, right? Because you see that and you start freaking out in your brain saying, oh, what's it going to do? What's it going to do? What's it going to do? So the one's kind of the happy medium of both worlds, right? It's still giving you good information, but it kind of calms it down a little bit. And you could scalp on any time period as far as that goes, right? If you get into a trade and you're in a good profit, we have members that'll like when this type of thing here happens, when the trade is you're in a really good, but it's really very volatile, jumping around, or there's not as much volume. You can go to we have members they'll go switch to the 5 minute candles and trade, make their decisions based on a 5 minute candle. So it's a personal preference thing. I like the 1 minute candle, works good for us, especially scalping. So when I'm scalping as a pure scalper, I want to see. I give more weight to the 9 EMA line, right? If I'm going short, I want to see my candles as it moves stay below the 9. So you can see this has been a good trade. It came all the way down here. It hit this level, right? And it didn't like that. So, it bounced down. Now, if I was charting here, I would have already had a line there. Probably. I don't know. I haven't charted that. So it came down, it bounced up, come up, it hit the 9. It may reject off of that, which it did. It bounced around. Now, see, this is where your training and education comes in. Now, I just told you I want to see my candles down below, right? That shows my downtrend is still continuing. Now, do I run away? Well, honestly, yes. I would take my profits down here. As soon as that pulled back, I'm taking profits, right? I would have probably locked in some profits here. But if I would be a patient trader, which honestly I'm not anymore, uh, you would let this thing play out. It's still below the 9. There's no reason to freak out yet, right? As long as it stays there, this 9 EMA as a scalper helps me stay in a trade. So there was really no reason to take profits here, right, on this small pullback, okay, because it hasn't broke through the 9. Now up here, it broke through, but yet it hasn't really broke through above it. So my trend is still down, as you can see by being patient. It hasn't broke away, right, to signify now I might be in the short term going up. It just kind of touched it, hung it out. It's still got its claws on that indicator. So you can use that to your benefit to kind of hang in a trade. Don't panic. Now, honestly, I would have got out down here, right? That's just how I am. I'm a all in or all out type of scalper. We have other scalpers that'll have multiple positions and they'll shed and hold on, let the runners run, give it some time to move. And if you'd have been patient, instead of me getting out here, even though it did pull back on me, you could see I gave up some profit, right? Now, the other thing I could have done was jump back in at any time, right? But by giving it time and trusting your indicators, at no time did it break totally free of the 9. So now it came down. Now it broke here. It's still kind of, there was a slight break and it was hem hawing around. Now I'm above it. Now it's in an upward trend, right? So I use these indicators depending on what style of trading I am doing at any given time. It helps you stay in trades longer and maximize your profits. But you still have to make your own decision. Nothing here says sell, buy, or sell. You have to know what these things are and how to use them to help yourself trade. One of our paid members and another moderator, Doug, you had a question, comment.
Hey, buddy. We've got some people that are looking at ES pulling and some NQ pulling.
Okay, it's that time of the day, right? And last we get into the end of the day, we'll take a look at the ES. There's the S&P. I wouldn't call that pulling. It's kind of just hanging there. I would say that would be more neutral. That's just a quick glance. It's kind of consolidating. It is testing the 9 on the short term. Now it's testing the 21 and 55. So yes, this probably will pull. I'm going to watch. If I was going to enter this trade, I'm going to wait for a break and hold right here below that, and I can always enter this trade, right? Now, it still hasn't convinced me that it's going to continue this down, even though everything is getting heavy. It's like a tree branch, right? It's getting heavy. See how it's drooping? These things are starting to droop. And the only indicator I got to worry about on a downturn is down here. There's the 200 down there. So I don't have to worry about that till it gets that far. That's quite a drop. But I haven't broke through here yet. So me just now seeing this, right? I got to wait for my criteria to take effect. I have to be patient here, okay? Expand this out, make this a little bit bigger so you can see it better, okay? I'm waiting on this break through this indicator here, my 55, and it hasn't done that yet. This can go either way. It is on a, it's heavy on the limb, right? You can see the downturn. Now I have my finger on the short button just in case this breaks and holds, that I can get in a short play, right? I can play this down. I'm looking at my L2 here. You know, there's some bigger orders down here that may pull it down to the 75 level, which would be down here. So it's still teetering. I'm still not entering. I'm going to be patient because if I can jump in this right now, it can very well go the other way, right? So I'm waiting for this to make a definitive move one way or the other, right? This is maybe faking it out right now. People took some profits up here, so we have an hour and a half left of trading in the day. People will start taking profits. They'll lock in their most, especially the last hour, especially the last 15, especially the last 5 to 8 minutes of the day. You'll see a lot of this happen, but it's not getting crazy yet. I'm still holding here steady. I'm going to stick with my criteria. And if you've been watching me any time at all, you'll always hear me say, wait for the break and hold, right? It broke the line, but it didn't have another candle on a break and hold, right? So if I'd have got it in here when that started to break through that line, I would already start losing money, right? Because it already reversed course. It still hasn't made up its mind yet, right? Now I can use my L2. I see there's these bigger orders, not huge difference. It's still jockeying for position. I'm seeing 74s show their face up a little bit. That would be down here. I'm just going to pop a line up here just as a reference point, right? Ah. So what I just see there's 74s down here. That's why I don't use people to chart with. But I am seeing 75. So 75s would be down in this neck of the woods. Again, there's no real definitive move that I see in my L2 that I want to go long on purpose just for the sake of trying to guess, try to game the system, right? I'm going to beat it to the punch kind of thing. That's a sure way to wreck your account. And look what's happening. It's not into a definitive. Now, am I going to enter this going up? Sure, I guess entering this trade on the upside. But I have my criteria. I've already formulated a plan in my mind for going down, and I also have one for going up. Only way I will enter this going back up is if it breaks above all these here, right? If I see a break and hold above this purple line, right, which is a 21 in this case, if it breaks and holds above that, there's no other indicators up here. The only thing to stop the upward movement is the buyers and sellers and my levels. So, you can obviously see how these candles on it. My little mouse clicking ain't. Get out of this. Here. Save that. Get out. This is I clicked the an alert button there, trying to get out of it. Didn't know what it was at first because I don't really use them. There's all kinds of things that your brokers can offer you. So you can see how all these candles here kind of topped out at this area. So that's a strong level right now. All right, so now I got a candle here. It's trying to do it again, right? I see my numbers here starting to decrease a little bit, but again, I'm waiting for that confirmation candle. I have one candle, but I don't have a confirmation. Okay, so can I try to jump in and scalp this? What would happen, right? It could reverse the other way very easily. So I could jump in this trade if I want. Let me show you. See, I always trade. You trade with the stop, right? So here's my stop. I'm going to adjust it in case this pops back up here to this level. It'll automatically. I can't pronunciate. Um, it'll automatically stop me out and limit my losses if this happens to reverse course. Now, if this moves down below where I bought it, which is right here, then I can move my stop up, down, and lock in my profits on a short play. Again, this is still teetering. They're still fighting. The 74s are showing, okay, which is down here, and the 75s down here is the big orders down here. It wants to pull down here, but that don't mean it will because people come up here and throw orders in like crazy, and this thing will reverse on me in a heartbeat, like you see it's trying to do now. So this very mousy. Now I'm going to get stopped out because it pulled up to where I had my stop set. See that? That even though I lost money on that trade, it limited my loss. So if this continues to go up, right? And all it did was that wick there. It still wants to fight. So what's that tell you? I had my stop too tight, right? Doug.
If we were looking at the trading view indicators, that previous candle bounced right on the 1 minute trend line on the upside, or on the bottom of the uptrend. That's where your bounce happened there.
Here, you're talking about.
Yeah. No, underneath the candle. Yeah, right there. If you look at your trading view indicators, yeah, that trend line is
yeah. Well,
popping right underneath it.
That's why I like my trading view indicators. Yeah, you're right.
That's why I bring it up. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out after the fact. Yeah, buddy. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
I'm showing a trade. Yeah, I'm looking over here at my trading view, and it's let me switch screens real quick so you can see what he's talking about. Right here's my trading view. I have this stretched out. Right there's a level that I have on my other chart that I chart on that I didn't have over here. If I'd have glanced over at this chart, I would have like, nope, don't enter because I want to see it break below that.
Yeah, pop to the 1 minute.
Yep. So not using what I'm used to using for charting and recognizing my levels because I don't have that light on here anyway. But I have it on my chart that I'm using on a daily basis. So there you go. That's the importance of having good charts. I didn't have good historical information on my Webull chart because I told you earlier I don't chart on this, right? I'm using TradingView with my Webull account linked to it so that I can actually trade my Webull account through TradingView. I enjoy it immensely doing it that way. I just wanted to switch it up today. We had a member ask if we could do that, and I said, sure, why not? Just cost me money for doing that. Not really. This is fake money. This is a paper trading account. I will never use my real account while I am in training mode. So, yeah, so that was right at 60.76, which is right 60. Yeah, so I should have had a line on this chart right in this area, right? On my, God, missing my clickers off here. I was online, so I would have had 60.76 right there. It's close enough for government work. See that? And that's where I entered the trade at, right? If I'd had that line there, I'd have waited for the break and hold. I've already said break and hold how many times today. I would have waited on that. I didn't have a line there. So I was driving without a map on this chart. That's why charting really is extremely helpful, beneficial to your trading. Now, I do have a line up here that I can clearly see that was already, that I didn't draw till just a few minutes ago, but I can clearly see these candles didn't like this level right here, right? Look how many of them pulled back. So will I enter this trade to the upside? Sure. Once it breaks and holds above these where this line's at, right? That's a level it didn't like to start with. Yeah, there was a couple breaking through here, and there's a couple instances where a couple candles managed to. So if it does break and hold, I will be watching my trade as it approaches this up here, right? Because this last, now again, this is not very, it's historical in the last today, right? But it's not maybe historical long term. Let's see, where do I got a line at? I have a line actually 6083 on my other chart. So that says 6083, which is way up here. So I do actually have a line clear up here at this area that I can also, if it makes it through that, 6083. Again, I'm not going to sit here and chart for, it gets boring after a while watching that. I got a couple lines on there. I just looked over at my other chart and transferred. And I don't trade, as you can tell, even with my Weeble, I don't have a lot of lines on mine because I don't actively trade the S&P 500 all that much. And I blank my charts out. I just haven't redrawn on there. So, all right, enough of that. Let me, now if it breaks down here this time, I might jump in it because now I got something to judge by, right? This will be a double going on a triple type bottom, double bottom. Let me see. Let me scroll back up here real quick through TikTok. Let's see. Pulling. Let's see. Talked about that. What percentage entry tragedy? What is your percentage entry, and when do you complete entry? Well, I just kind of explained when do I enter. What are my criteria? You have to have your own criteria. If you have to say it out loud verbally, so you re-enter properly, then you need to do that. And I'm talking through obviously because I'm in training mode, right? So I already told you my criteria for the down is to break and hold below this. My criteria if I go back up, even though I can make money between here and there, if I jump in here at this break and hold above this indicator, I'm going to watch when it gets here. So every one of these lines on my chart is simply a point of decision. I have to make a decision what I'm going to do. And look, while this didn't actually touch the line, it got pretty close, right? And people started taking their profit from their shorts and they sold it. Now people are buying it off the bounce, double bottom bounce, right? Buy on support. Let's see. Let me go over and take a look at YouTube Live. Hi, Vegan Knowledge, if you're still here. Sorry I missed you. Say hi. Hello. You're my favorite, by the way, Vegan Knowledge, over there on YouTube Live chat. Mazda Mitch, with all said, currently SPY, the VWAP's lower than EMA 9 and the 200. So what's that tell us? It just tells us you play your chart, and play those off. So every time you come up on one of your indicators, not one indicator is indicative of what's going to happen. You have to take your line levels, your historical levels, and all your indicators and look at the big picture, right? I can't definitively say this is going to pull clear down here any more than I can say it's going to shoot to the moon up. I'm trading the trade of what's currently happening, and I will make my trading decisions based on my historical levels, where my indicators are at, where's VWAP at, where is the 200, right? So that's what I'm looking for. So you need to know where those things are. VWAP's way down here. So what does that tell me? If this is volume weighted average, why is VWAP so far away? Why? Because apparently somewhere along the line there was a violent up move, right? And right there it is, right? That's why VWAP and the 200 got left behind. So that's why there's such a huge gap, because you had two great big spikes in price, right, over a relatively short period of time. Now, right, that's a lot of minutes there, but you see how much that went straight to the moon, right? It's going straight to the moon, right? It's going straight up, taking off. So it actually outpaced the volume versus price on this shooting up. It went up little by little, but it went straight up, steady up. So that's why I had to go down here and see where VWAP's at. You need to know where these 200 and VWAP are at all time. Now, once you're above it and you're in an upward trend trading, you don't care where, just so you know where they're at, right? Because if this reverses trend, now I have to deal with, obviously, the 200 is there first, right? So I'm going to have to deal with the 200 before I have to worry about VWAP. VWAP way down there, so it's not even an issue to me at this current time. So here we go. There's, that's why I was talking. It broke through my level there. I could have got in on that trade, but what's it doing? It's still bouncing off that level, and that's the same level that we were talking about earlier. Let me show you here on my trading view. Right here is that line we were talking about. This white line. It broke through it, but it's still got its claws in. It's holding on with one hand on that level, right? So it hasn't broken, held away from this level. So I want to see that break and hold there. Again, I would be making, even though initially I was doing my buying and selling using this Weeble screen, I was making my buying and decisions off of my charting on my trading view. So now I've just combined using Weeble, my Weeble account, and I've linked it to my trading view account. So now I have the best of both worlds. I have my superior charting program with my brokerage account attached to it. So I can trade in and out on that. And I've been showing you that mostly all along, but we're showing here on Weeble today. Again, it's all customizable. Your chart will look nothing like my chart. You're going to do what works best for you. Right. Eden asks over in our Zoom chat, what are some of the small futures that contracts you can learn with? Well, again, it depends on your risk tolerance. The indices such as the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Russell, those are where all the action's at on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis. Okay, so that might not be a great place to start with. You might want to pick something that moves slower. Currencies move slow and again, different times of day, they'll move more at one time than they will others. And you learn those little nuances. Obviously, the stock market indices like the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Russell tend to have a lot of volume when the New York Stock Exchange, so right? That's when it's heavily traded. So you're going to have more ups and downs, a lot of volatility. You can make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money, right? So you have to be pretty good to trade them. You just have to learn. You have to get good charting, get good skills, how to read what's going on with the candles, right? So once you're able with experience and training, right, and face time on your charts, you'll be able to trade them just like anything. A chart's a chart's a chart. Trade your chart, right? It just so happens that the indices overall are more volatile. So I'm not against trading anything overall. I even stay away from the indices myself. I just not a call. If I had to pick one of the three main, I go with the Russell. I love the Russell. And when I was trading stock options heavily, I traded the IWM all the time. That was my jam, IWM. I traded that every single day ad nauseum. I hardly ever looked at anything else. Now, if the Russell was all choppy or something, yes, I would go somewhere else. But I charted that extensively. I'm confident in my charting on it, so I can trade the Russell without much of an issue now that I am basically, well, not basically, I am only trading futures. This is my jam. I love it. I love the versatility. I love the different type of sectors. I love that you could trade 23 hours a day. If I'm busy in the morning, I can trade in the evenings, vice versa. I have turned into an evening trader. I really have. I love it. I love trading starting at 6 o'clock till like 11 o'clock at the latest. Go to bed. I get up, whatever, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, start trading again in the morning. And if I don't want to trade in the open 9:30 market when the volatility really increases, I don't have to, right? And I don't. I just, quite frankly, I don't want to trade after 9:30. I don't. Why? Because it is more volatile. Everything's more volatile, right? You can have. Let's face it. The president of the United States is generally not giving a press conference at 3 in the morning, right? Open up his pie hole and say something that the market reacts to, right? Uh, it's not that world leaders on the other side of the world aren't talking at that time, but You know what I'm saying. So there's not news articles being released in the middle of the night generally. News never stops, but let's face it, during the day, normal people live are awake and moving around during daylight hours. They're not like some of our members who are up all night trading. We have members that are. Ralph loves trading in the middle of the night. That's his jam. He's into currency markets heavy. Loves trading currencies, and the London market opens at 2 a.m. Eastern time, and that's prime time to start trading currencies, right? Currencies this time of the day, is there volume? Yeah, a little bit, but it's nothing to write home to mom about, right? Here's the euro, the US dollar pair, right? Can you still trade this? Well, of course you can, right? But look how small the candles are, right? There's not a lot of volume in that trade. Um, you can trade the straight euro, you can trade the Australia dollar, you can do all of them, but see how these candles are really not a heavily traded at this time of the day, right? Because people on the other side of the world are sleeping right now, right? So there's more to the world than just the United States of America, right? I'm glad I live where I live, don't get me wrong. But in the world market, the whole macroeconomics of trading, we are people trade all over the world. So they do have um, things going on all the time. Over on YouTube, live chat, Mozamich says, let me read it first. Yeah, welcome to my world there, Mozamich. Here's a common thing. And quite honestly, everybody is prone to this. Mozamich, I'll read your comment. He says, I don't quite get it yet. He says, I tend to want to run before I can walk. I want to understand these indicators. I couldn't quite tell when to get in or get out to save a life right now. Well, you won't, right? You're not going to learn this in a 2-hour live, right? It takes time understanding. I told you what a 9 EMA is. A 9 EMA measures the last 9 candles on the time period on your chart. Okay, big deal, right? I kind of gave you a quick overview how I use if I was only using the 9 EMA as a scalper. But again, that's a quickie thing. There's more to it that you can deep dive into it that we can do in a 2-hour free live broadcast. Membership does have its privileges, and I know Mazda, you're in there on our free Discord, I believe, and membership does have its advantages. But as you found out, Mazda Mitch, there are training materials within our free Discord that you can go in there and look. Now, you don't have access to a lot of things. Believe me, you're only seeing, I don't even know what the percentage would be. Let's just use an extreme example. You may only be able to see 10% as a free member of what's available to you, right? Now, a paid membership has its privileges. And again, I never apologize for us having memberships. It has its privileges, right? This is a corporation, a legal corporation. It takes money to run the organization, right? It costs money to pay for a Zoom subscription so that we can broadcast this to you. This isn't free to do what we're doing. It's free to you, right? All it costs you is the amount of electricity it costs to watch it on whatever device you're using it on. And we do this style that you may want to up your game sometime in the future, whether it's today or 6 months from now, right? Uh, I don't make a dime if you buy a membership. It's not a dime in my pocket, right? But corporations need money to run, and that's how this corporation runs, is on memberships, quite frankly, right? We don't have any sponsors. We're not sponsored by XYZ Corporation. Now let's pause for a word from our sponsors. We don't have any of that stuff, right? Most people don't. They don't have. Now you'll see YouTubers, tech talkers that say that, and they clearly state, this is sponsored by, right? And they'll put a little logo up there if they're showing somebody's product or whatever. We're not like this. This is stock market training, right? And so it's a lot to take in. It's like learning anything else. First day on the job, they take you around the shop, show you all the machines and all the noise that's going on if you're in a factory, right? All the things buzzing and machines and belts moving and motors grinding and tow motors driving around, banging around, picking up, slamming things. It's sensory overwhelm, right? Until your brain gets used to those noises, gets used to all the information being thrown at you, and the light bulb kind of goes off, right? That you now it's starting to make a little bit of sense to you, right? And as you learn, okay, oh, I know that now, so now it's not an overload, right? And that's the same way in trading. You're learning a new skill. Don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some time to learn, right? And you will. We've all went through that. My brain was mush for the longest time. And quite honestly, I mean, I was in here trading full time and I retired from my 9 to 5 job. I didn't no longer punch. I made that decision. I'm never going to work for a 9 to 5 ever again, even though I did. I worked afternoons and midnights mostly. Um, I I like this. I love doing what I do. It's not easy, and it took a while. And I believe it was Eden asked me earlier, and I don't think I answered your question, Eden. I answered a bunch of stuff, but not that. When was my light bulb moment? When did the light bulb go off? I'm like, dang, I think I understand this now. I think I can do this pretty good. Um, I distinctly remember, I couldn't tell you the exact date, but it was 10 months into my first year where everything that was coming out of Coach's mouth, I had a working knowledge and kind of understood how to use it, right? We talk a lot about a lot of different types of trading strategies throughout a 12-hour training period for our paid members. And some of those things are over my head, right? You come into your first day, you don't know how to do cash secured puts, right? What is that? I've never even heard of that, right? That's its own investment vehicle that has its own things that you got to know what you're doing before you dare jump in it, right? And to this day, I've never wrote a cash secured put, right? And I've never done that. Now I do calls and puts a day in and day out all the time. I did that entirely my first full year. I did nothing but that. I love trading stock options. It has its advantages and disadvantages. But at first, I'll tell you what, it was like, whoo, you know. But as you get, as in life with anything, it'll come to you. It'll start. Some people learn at a faster rate than others, and we try to provide multiple ways in teaching you verbally. Watching a video, live watch coach do things in our Zoom calls, right? Watching videos, looking at documents that we produced, repetition, right? Asking questions, which is one of the number one advantages of having a paid membership. You can say, "Hey, coach, how do I do this?" or "What does this mean?" And he will stop what he's doing and answer your question. And he will go over it in a way that you can understand. I love Coach's training style. I really do. That's what drew me to Coach, was how he talks to people. He treats people with respect. Does Coach get asked the same question 1,000 times in a 1 week period? Yes, he does. But every day we get new members, or we get members that may have been here for a while, and that the next phase of their learning, the light bulb's starting to tick. Now they got a different question, right? And it may be the question that was just asked 20 other times earlier in the week, but that they didn't hear it, but now they do. So again, Maz and Mitch, take your time. We want you to come and learn, and the first phase of learning is to listen. You don't, even if you would buy a membership today, we don't want you to fund an account. There's no reason to fund a trading account with real money while you're learning. We do not want you to do that. We advise against doing that. Why? So you're not tempted to jump in there and run before you can walk, as you stated, right? If you don't have a live trading account with real live money in it, you'll never lose money, right? That's a sure way to protect your capital. Do not fund an account. You'll come in, listen. This is my recommendation. I can't force anybody to follow it, and it's Coach's recommendation. Anything I comes out of my pie hole, I learned from Coach. Okay, I'm not giving you some great revelation. These things that I'm espousing is what I've learned from Coach over time, over the last 2 years hanging out here and being a paid member. Is to listen, listen, listen. Take extensive notes. Try to start slow trading stocks, right? He wants you to always start with stocks. So listen and learn, grasp the basic concepts of the 2-minute EWO trading strategy, which I believe everybody should do. And then as you progress, you can get into scalping, you can get into all these different types of things, right? You may find out you don't like short term. You don't want to be a day trader. You may want to be somebody who buys Nvidia and holds it and keep adding to your holdings over time and learning when to buy more Nvidia, when to maybe take some profits. All those different strategies, totally different than day trading. And coach teaches those things. You may find that's your jam. Ralph, he's talked to us lately here. He does the EWO, but he does it as a swing trader. In other words, he's buying today and he may hold it he may get rid of it for the end of the day. Depends, right? Or he may hold it for a few days or a few weeks, but he's constantly evaluating that trade that he can get out of it at any time. Now that's totally different from you buying a share of Nvidia and tucking it away in your drawer somewhere, and I'll look at it a year from now. I'm just going to let it do whatever it does, right? So there's all kinds of different trading strategies. You have to find your groove. Scalping scares the death out of people, right? I didn't know how to scalp. Well, once I learned it, I found out that I enjoyed immensely. But that doesn't mean that's what you're going to find. This may not be your groove, right? So we ask that you come in with an empty cup, right? Absorb everything that you can, and over time, once your brain stops feeling like mush from all the information overload and hearing coach talk about the very basic things and talking about advanced trading techniques all in the same day, um, you'll start to get it. Does that mean you ignore the advanced trade? No, you need to listen to it all, because eventually you'll be able to build on this knowledge, and over time the simple things become easy, the harder things start to become easy. So that's what you need to do. So don't dismiss anything. Take notes, write it down. You don't know when you might use it. Hopefully that answered your question. Okay. What else? Any other questions over at TikTok? I'll try to do my best. We are now in Power Hour, when things tend to get a little bit of volatility. Look at gold. See, if I was scalping gold, look how that stayed below the 9. Can I still enter this trade in gold if I wanted to? Yeah, as a scalper, I can enter a trade anytime I want. I don't have, my rules are more liberal as a scalper, but I still take into account everything that I see on my screen. There's the 200, there's VWAP, there's the 55. It's below everything. Now it is pulling up here, so I'm going to wait and see what happens here. Could I do a quick scalp? I'll wait. I want to see this come back down below the 9 or break above this indicator, which is my 21. I can make a quick scalp between these 2 points. Now, as you can see, I am not going to make the same error. I have no lines on my chart, so I'm going to come over and take a quick glance at my gold chart and see what I got going on over there, right?
I was just going to recommend that.
Yeah. Well, fool me once, shame on me, right? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? So I'm taking a quick peek here. I have a level at 2883. It's already above that, is it? I don't know. So yeah. So I don't have to have, if you ever see Coach's screen, he doesn't have a lot of lines on his chart. He does use VWAP, and he uses his indicators. And I can execute a trade just fine without lines, but having my indicators. However, I can make even better decisions if I have some lines on my chart that I know are previous levels. So I can use some short-term lines here, right? I can see where this came down and touched here. So now I have a few little things. I can get in my car here on the eastern part of the United States, and I can head northwest, and eventually I may end up in Alaska, right? Well, if I don't head northwest far enough, I may end up in Oregon instead, right? Or if I head too much north, I end up in Canada, right? And I'll have the Mounties and have me in handcuffs because I cross the border, right? And if I don't go enough north, I'll end up in California. So I need to have a map if I really want to get to Anchorage, Alaska in the next driving. Would it not be more beneficial to me and my trip to have a map, right? And now, of course, everything, Google Maps, Apple Maps, all that kind of stuff. So having a map to guide me and giving me more information, the chance of me getting to Anchorage, Alaska has greatly improved, right? Does that mean I'll make it to Anchorage, Alaska? No guarantees, right? My car could blow up before I get there. So having a map is very beneficial. Eden, question.
Mark, I wanted to just reiterate because your light bulb moment.
Mhm.
I'm trying to find mine very soon, and I think I seen you go through your light bulb moment. Was it going from your regular trading to the futures program that you feel like you've done better, or was it before that?
No, it was well before. That was in my first year, first 10 months.
First 10 months, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about futures. To me, futures was a high risk thing, right? Only because I was ignorant. I was uneducated about futures. I never even looked at them at that point, right? No, I was in trading stocks. I was in the pre-market, learning how to scalp. I was basically 85% of my trading was in stock options, right? I love stock options. I love trading, but I still do. I haven't since I've been doing futures full time, right? I love futures. I don't I don't see me leaving futures anytime soon in my career. I love it that much. I really do. Does it mean I will ever? No, it doesn't mean that. But this is my jam. I love it. It's just once I realized that I already had the skills to trade futures, I just didn't know it. Right? I learned how to trade stocks. I learned how to trade stock options. I learned how to scalp in a pre-market where you don't have stops. You can't use stops. Right? It's in and out. Right? Um, you have to grab the profit while it's going. It's a pure momentum play. So now that I've acquired those skills, even though I didn't realize at the time, I was building a testimony of my future self way back then, right? Over a year and a half ago. And then when we had first come over into futures, it was like, what the heck? I already know how to do this, in essence, right? I mean, I still had stuff to learn, obviously, about contracts and the lingo about, we use ticks instead of, yada, 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 and how a contract in a futures trading is different than a stock option contract. So I still had technical things I needed to know, but the trading mechanics to enter and exit a trade, I already had all those skills, right? I just was ignorant that I could apply them skills in the futures. Once I realized, I'm like, dang, where you been all my life, right? Uh, but if I had have just jumped in here like this, well, I would be just struggling like I would have been when I learned to trade stock and stock options. So I just got to that point, building on my education over the time period. I just remember just sitting here one day, I'm thinking, I can't believe I understand all this stuff. 10 months prior, I didn't have a clue about any of this. I had no clue about day trading, right? I was uneducated. It wasn't that I was ignorant. I was uneducated. Uneducated can be fixed, right? And it was. And it, over time, built on one principle on top of another, and had experience, got to see it with my own eyeballs and put those and be able to learn how to interpret the information that's on my chart right in front of my face, and getting your hand and eye coordination down, knowing how to enter and exit trades and options and what's delta, what's gamma, how all that stuff works for you or works against you, right? It's just that was I just kind of had that aha. Even though I had an extremely successful first year, I made a lot of money. I did very well. I made more money my first year than I did in my highly paid management job. Not a whole lot more, but I did. I mean, I did. I had no wants for nothing, right? I took to it like a duck to water. I lost a lot of money. Now I lost a boatload of money, but I also made a boatload of money. So fortunately for me, I ended up coming out ahead in the end, right? I was able to recover from them dumb well, the one was I was totally educated. There was zero reason for me to lose all that money that I lost, right? It's because I didn't follow coach's rules and I ended up losing. So I lost money just by trying to run, as Mazda Mitch said, trying to run before I could walk. So you learn as you go. Unfortunately, financial pain is a very good teacher, right? You have a big loss, you learn not to do that again, right? You don't want to repeat that mistake, right? So, and following coach's rules on a more consistent basis just kind of helped me. Okay, aha, the light bulb went off finally. When I knew that I knew that I knew, kind of thing, right? I knew in my knower that I knew. That was my light bulb moment, right? And you have little ones as you learn new principles all the time. So, and then coming over here was probably, again, my education's I'm always learning something new, right? You know, there's all the little tidbits and how to do things. And then again, I would use when I came and started trading futures. That was my next big light bulb moment, realizing what the heck, I know how to do this. It's kind of like I don't want to use the word easy, but I'm like, hell, this is easy. I can do this, no problem, right? And I still had to go, but I didn't just jump in. I paper traded. I literally paper traded for 3 weeks until I knew in my newer that I knew that I knew that I knew that I could do this successfully, right? And paper traded. I did that for 3 weeks. Then I funded my account. I didn't even put money in my account. I knew better, right? I didn't want to have that temptation of using my real money to trade, even though I knew I could do it. I wanted to prove to myself I can do it. And I started with $700. I could have thrown thousands of dollars and took right off, but I wanted to prove a point to myself. I'm not competing against anybody. I am actually, Ange was my inspiration. She started with 500, ran her account up, right? So I wanted to prove that throwing money at it, that I could start out with a small account and over time, $5 here, $10 there, $8 here, that I could take that small account and build it up to where it is today, right? So, and because I didn't do that when I started with American Dream Trading, I had a lot of money when I came in and was trading, and I was trading. Look at that big pop on gold right there. Missed out talking while I was talking. Um, so yeah, I could have thrown a lot of money, and that's the danger. If you come in here and you have a bank account that you have access to, you are tempted to, oh, I know a little bit now, right? Well, you know enough to be dangerous. And yeah, you may get lucky once in a while slapping it up against the wall and see if some of it sticks. But until you're really trained, you don't want to do that. You want to paper trade and really prove to yourself, without a doubt, shadow of a doubt, you know what you're doing, however long that takes you. If it's months, 6 months, a year, 2 year, whatever, you know you. I can't force you not to click your mouse any more than I can cause you to click your mouse. So, what does that all have to do with me being in this trade right now, making money? Well, long term, that's what you got to do. You have to adapt that psychology. Be like Mazda Mitch, recognizing that he wants to run before he can walk, and that he can do that. He's a natural. You know what? They say that about guitar players. Man, that guy's got natural talent. That Jimi Hendrix, man, that guy can wail on a guitar, right? You know, Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm a musician, so that's why I'm using music. Stevie Ray Vaughan, that guy is just look at the talent in that guy, right? Eddie Van Halen, man, can you believe he can play all them notes that fast? But what you don't know is Eddie Van Halen, from the time that he was old enough, now he had his brother help him learn, right? His brother was his mentor, but he never went anywhere unless that guitar was literally in his hands. If he was in his bedroom, the guitar was in his hands. He was down sitting on the family couch, the guitar was in his hands. He went over to a buddy's house, that guitar went over. He spent thousands and thousands and thousands and years and years and years of time learning how to do that. How do you play that fast? Well, as a guitarist, I can tell you, I can't play that fast because I haven't put the effort in to do that. I'm not a shredder, okay? And I don't, you know, anybody can shred, but how do you do that? You start out playing da da, and then as you can do that successfully, then you go da da da, and as you get good at doing that, you go da da da. You get good at that for a while, da 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 da. All right, and eventually you go da 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 da. Right? It's the same way with trading. As you build your skills and experience, you can build upon that. Right? Eddie Van Halen wasn't a born natural talent. Nobody's a natural talent. Now, don't get me wrong, there is people like that, and they have a special talent, but they didn't just pick up a guitar and start wailing on it, right? They built their skills, right? And they had that talent that they were able to nurture and grow over time to get them to where they were. But what you didn't see was all the pain and suffering and the bloody fingers and the broken strings and getting frustrated and smashing your guitar on the ground and busting them up, and that went into getting to where they were. Believe me, I literally had my guitar literally over top of my head with two hands on the neck. I was seconds away from smashing it into the floor and destroying it while I was learning. And God glad I didn't. I still have that guitar, my first guitar. And then I finally calmed down a little. I just reached that point of frustration. I couldn't play. Actually, it was a chord I was trying to play. I couldn't play it. Now I don't even think about it, right? After I didn't even actually start learning to play guitar till I was 50. Not to talk about me more, but you know, me is my favorite subject. That's anybody knows me. But you know, I didn't start learning. I've been a musician all my life, but I never played string instruments, so that was a new skill I had to learn. And at 50 years old, when I decided to do that, I kept telling my wife, I'd always like to learn how to play guitar. And finally, my wife got sick of hearing it, and we was somewhere that there were some guitar stores, and she, let's go, pull in there. That's how I started playing guitar. But it took me a long time to do that. But I had it over on top of my head, frustration. I was ready to quit, throw in the towel, literally, throw into guitar, throw my guitar and smash it into splinters against the wood. And I came to my senses. I'm like, all right, there's a solution to this problem. It can't be that hard. And I basically I did self teach myself. I didn't have a teacher. YouTube. I learned how to play guitar from YouTube. I found a couple. There's thousands of those on YouTube, right? But I found one that I could relate to and talk to me through his videos in a way that I understand, just like Coach speaks to me in a way that I can understand, and I gravitate towards. And that I went in there, and by God, he showed how to play that one chord. And I'm like, oh, this wasn't that hard. This is, but it's just the way there's 1,000 of them that taught the same thing. It's just the way that this individual, and I still follow him to this day, brought that out. And matter of fact, I even messaged him. I'm like, you changed my life over this simple chord because I just happened to catch that video, and it's like, okay, light bulb moment went off, right? Same way in trading. You're going to have the same days where you're going to want to well, if you're a guy, I don't know, maybe gals do it too. Pound your fists on the desk, right? Throw your mouse, throw your cup against the wall, right? However you react to anger, how you deal with it, right? Um, I've my wife can tell if I lose a lot of money sometimes. I still do it occasionally. I don't as much, but I'll smash my fist on the desk like, dang it, why did I do that, right? I don't do that so much anymore. I try to stay calm, and I've been there, done that, seen it all, right? Done all the dumb things that I know not to do, but that I still do occasionally, and I pay the price for it. And I just try to move on. Treat each trade as one trade. If you happen to lose money, okay, well, all right, you got a few seconds, get over it, move on, right? Can't always every trade's not going to be green. So what have we been talking about kind of in roundabout ways? The psychology of trading, things you have to deal with. Give yourself time. This is not a get rich quick scheme, right? Can you become a millionaire to do it? Yeah, we have a few millionaires in our group, right? We have like a dozen. Did they make a million overnight? Nope. They started with smaller accounts and they built on it, right? Build up their account. Am I a millionaire? Well, far from it. Um, Part of my issue is this is my full time. When I quit working for a living, punching a time clock. Not that I punched a time clock. I was in management. Uh, when I got laid off that last time, I just decided that's it. I'm retiring. I'm doing this full time. I still have bills to pay, so I was staying ahead of what I needed. So my account I wasn't just buying and selling every day and being able to make my profit. So that's why until I got even better and better, and then my account grew even more. Now I have play money, right? So I was actually, it's everything I made was my bank. I take money out every 1 week or 2 weeks, whatever bills come due, and I would pay my bills. So I was gaining every month over month, but now it's got nowhere. Now I can do a little bit more than I used to, but that didn't happen overnight, right? So now my futures account, yes, I can leave money in there if I want to, but I've taken another thing, and I've mentioned this a couple times, using it to pay down debt. So now this money I'm making has a different focus, right? It's not a monthly bill. It's getting rid of them so I don't have monthly bills is the goal now in my life. So things change over time. Changes with your bank accounts, right? If I don't do well for a week, well, yeah, my perspective is going to change a little bit. So I have less of those days now. So, and that didn't happen overnight. Questions, comments? Mm,
Yeah, Mark, I got one. Now that
yeah.
I'm kind of getting into the futures program, I'm kind of copying your screen. That's why I wanted the Webull today because I'm putting a paper trading account on my account.
Hmm.
Um, can you kind of explain to me a little bit of because I still have to go through some videos, but can you make me understand why when I buy one futures trade contract, the margin is okay? Let's for example, I got crude oil
Hmm.
and I'm buying one at $71.10, and the margin used is $5,720.
Hmm.
Does that mean that I have the possibility of losing that amount of money even though the amount of the account is not that um
Okay.
has that much money or anything like that? Is it
Right.
how's that
Now,
margin?
yeah, you have to understand how much margin you have to have in your account. This is you have to change your thinking coming into futures trading. If you're used to stock option, which I know you have, right?
Right.
Just so you guys know, I have met Eden personally, uh, one of the few members that I have. Anyway, you stock options, the price is different every day, right? It's different every minute, right? It changes, ebbs and flows, right? Later in the week, you can buy XYZ Corporation. Mondays is the most expensive because contract runs for the week, so you're paying the most premium. Fridays, it's a lot less expensive. If you have earnings coming out, the contract prices really skyrocket, don't they? Stock options. So we
Right.
don't
Right.
have that. We do not have that in futures. It's fixed price. The, the margin required to trade one contract is the same on Monday as it is on Friday. It's the same price on Monday at 9 o'clock as it is at 4 o'clock. Okay. Now, uh, if you go to our education section there, matter of fact, if you go into our stock lounge, there's charts there you can look at. Every broker has what you have to have in your account to trade one contract. Okay. Well, here, let me pull up this. I made this little quick. Let me show you my little cheat sheet here, if I can get it to drag over here.
Awesome.
Well, here, I'll have to open it this way. Okay, let me open it this way. Now, this is just from Weeble's webpage, right? It's actually from two web pages. I made a little cheat sheet for me, so I know what the symbol is in Weeble. I know what the symbol is in TradingView. It's a little bit different. It's not, you can't just type ES into there. Anyway, what it's called, there's an overnight margin and there's an intraday. In other words, intraday is what that contract costs you from 9 a.m. to 4:15 that day. And then the futures market closes and then reopens up at 6 Eastern, right? Now, in the off hour, if you want to think of after hours, right? And you got the aftermarket in the stock market, right? You can trade you can trade stocks in the aftermarket time, right? Well, in margins, we can trade all night long from 6 o'clock until 9 a.m. the next morning is the overnight. Okay, it's the overnight hour trading. Now, overnight, even though let's just look down here, something that's if I look here on the micro S&P 500 to trade one contract of the S&P 500, I have to have $96.36 on hand in my margin account to trade one contract. If I want to trade 5 contracts, then I have to have 5 times $96, right? So if I have a $500 account that I open up with Weeble, I can trade up to 5 contracts during the day between the 9 to 5 or 9 to 4, right? Okay. Now, to be able to trade that exact same contract in the evening hours, in other words, from 6 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 a.m. the following morning, it's now going to cost me $1,600 to trade that same contract. Why is that? I guess the oversimplified, easy answer is they are on the hook for that money all night long, right? So that you could be in that trade from 6 p.m. till 9 a.m. the next morning, and anything could happen, right? So the overnight, yes. Now I have to have $1,606 to be able to trade one contract in the evening. 9 a.m. it goes back to being 96, right? But the market closes at 4:15 and reopens at 6, I'm back to this. So that's the price per contract. And every broker may have a different amount, right? Some of this is predetermined by brokers. So what you will see by paper trading in Weeble, and you can see that right now on my chart because I am loaded up on my paper trading. Okay, here you will see on your trading widget that it shows I will need to trade. Well, here let me show you. Let me put it on the S&P. So we're talking about the same thing without causing confusion. To trade on paper trading, it shows I need to have $1,600 in there, right? Even though it's fake money. Okay. For some reason, and I don't know why, and I've asked them why. It's just the way it is for now. It's the way their paper trading thing is programmed. It charges you the overnight margin amount. So what you got to do, you just got to kind of cheat the system, right? So if you're on, obviously you can't put in because we tell you to trade your account like it's real money. So what you do is you just come in here. I can come in here over here. If you see on my bottom right, I have the paper trading account. It's a widget that you get off of Webull. I could reset this. I could set a reset. I don't want to be trading $1 million. All right, you could enter a $1 million trade in Webull. Like, look at me, I made $20,000, right, on a trade for 5 seconds. Well, big deal, right? What did that prove? So what you need to do is just kind of game the Webull's paper trading and just say, put in, 10,000. We can just say 10,000. If you want, say 20,000, right? Just so no matter what you pick, you can trade it, right? So because you're trying to get experience, right? So now I have a $20,000. So now I can pretty much come back over here and I can practice trading just about anything in the overnight. Now, obviously, I can't trade a NASDAQ E-mini, but I could trade the micros. But you could set that whatever number. If you want to be able to do that, you could do that. So now if you look through the average prices, again, you're going to be trading micros when you start out. That's how you build your account. So anything that says E-mini, that's the big boy trade. That takes big boy money, and you make big boy money whenever you are in a trade also, right? It has its advantages, but you got to have that much money in your margin account. It's just, you have to think of it, a margin account with trading futures, kind of like having a savings account. You have to have that, and the broker has to, oh yeah, I see that in your account. Okay, you're allowed to trade one contract of that. Now they debit your account temporarily while you're in that trade. The minute you exit that trade, that's put right back in your account, right? Minus any losses you may have. Right? And the other thing is, every profit you make, you can instantly trade that. There is no next day settlement of funds like trading in stocks or stock options. It is instantaneous settlement of your funds. As
So I
soon
can
as
go in and out right
in and
away.
out all day long. You can do it every 2 seconds if you really wanted to. Now, you lose money doing that, but you literally can do that. You can buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. You take it, they debit your account, right? It's so that's what you have to have sitting in you have to have that kind of money in your account to trade. You have to have more in the evenings. But you're going to be trading as a new trader starting out building your account, right? And let's face it, most of us are coming in here with $500 accounts, right? You don't want to throw a lot of money at this. You have experience as a trader. You have skills because you've been with ADT, but you still want to paper trade. You still treat this as a new skill you have to learn. So you start with micros. They're less expensive. As you can see, like a micro NASDAQ, it's only $122, right? But in the evening, it's 24 trading a micro. Where if I bought the mini, I don't know why they don't call it large. I don't know. You see that mini, you think of small, but micro is smaller than the mini, right? So here's the Russell. I can buy one Russell for that, and then I can buy a micro Russell at night for 836. So down here. So you're going to trade micros. Now, when you're paper trading, it doesn't matter how many contracts you buy. It's not going to affect the way you trade. The purpose of paper trading is learn how to use the software, how to get in and out of trades, right? How to use your indicators, how to draw lines on your chart, yada, yada, how to interpret what you see. So you're always going to start with the smallest. So you want to always start with micro contracts. You'll lose less. You're not going to make as much, but you're not going to lose as much either, right? So that's what you do. And this is available to our paid members inside the membership lounge there.
I'm
So
I'm
that you
I'm printing it right now, so that way I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
kind of look at
Yeah.
it in a better
This
from my
this
screen.
all this is just right from my Webull, from the Webull website. I just made a quick reference cheat sheet that I can have laying here on my desk instead of opening up the website all the time, which is what I was doing. So it's just, and then you have to understand what a tick is and what a tick value is. All right. So one of the important widgets you'd want, I would say using Webull, you want the futures widget. So you would go up into your widgets. Now, um, so when you're back, let me back up a half step. I was showing you that Webull's paper trading always charges you that overnight, right? So that's what you want to put enough in your fake account that you can trade anything. But just because you put $10,000 in it doesn't mean in your fake account, don't mean you trade. Just trade one contract, right? Doesn't matter what the cost is. Just trade one, even though you could trade two, right? Just practice getting your mechanics down and learning and understanding how things work. How to set your stops is different than it is in. It's a different line of thinking than it is in stock options. Which coaches rule on setting your stop on stop options? 25 to 40%, right?
25 to 40%, yeah, 30 to 40%.
You put a 40% stop in the futures, you're going to lose a lot of money. Okay. So that's the part of the art, is learning how much of a stop do you really need. And we don't call it, we call it, you set your stop via what they call ticks. And tick is a measurement of one unit. Each tick has
Yeah,
its value. Yeah. So those are the little things you got to learn that's different, right? You'll catch on quick because you have the
right.
foundation. So,
Yeah, the ticks are not considered percentages though, right? They're not like, oh, 10 ticks means 10%, right? Ticks are different
no,
from a
no. I
percentage
mean, you
number.
could do the math. I did, that's how I started out. Well, what's if I use a 30% of the average movement in a day? What does that equal, right? And so that's kind of what I did. I kind of took the ATR and did, yeah, what's 30%? Because I was just guessing when I first come in, right? We didn't know how big of one. So you'll work that out, and in our paid members training, we'll discuss that in detail, right? Can't get into all that right now during
Right, right, right. I
this
understand.
time, right? So you grab some of the necessary widgets. Futures widget you need because it has every widget that Webull allows you to trade. Okay, it's called the futures widget, right? So I can go up here and change. I can go by if I want to look at metals futures, all the different ones up here. I can do gold, silver, platinum, da 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 da. Now, the quickest thing for you to do when you're first getting started is you get the widget, futures widget, and go up here and click on micro. There's a whole heading here, micros. So it only shows you, which is everything, the micro units of trading, and that's what you want to use. So that way you don't have to search, and they're all listed up here. You can just scroll through back and forth and find the ones you want. It's all one handy little section here. So if I want the micro Russell, I can click here. If I want to trade a micro euro, I can click there and it brings it all up. So, and then just click on the one that says main. And we'll cover all that in training. That's a membership has its benefits type of thing. I gave everybody a little sneak peek there, but you're welcome for that free
Copy. Copy.
information. Again, you're paper trading. So, all right. So there we go. We're now in power hour. You're going to see an increased volatility. This is the S&P 500. It's kind of flat right now. I see gold while we were talking take off, right? Had a big drop there. Big rise back up. Again, it's battling through. Again, metals don't tend to move all that much in this late of the day. It's not saying that they can't at any given time. I will trade whatever I need to trade based on the time I'm in there. Again, I love trading in the evenings. I just do. And why is that? Well, we found that metals and oil tends to move nicely. You get a lot of ups and downs. You get that little bit of volatility without having an excessive amount of volume that really make it go crazy. It's a little easier to see things before they happen, kind of thing, right? Um, you have more time to think. You get in here with the indices and stuff, and news comes out during the day, and whoosh, next thing you know, you lost money. Excuse me for a minute. Need a drink. No, anyway. So that's kind of an overview of what we do. Again, you want a paper trade. You don't even want to fund a real account. Listen, learn, take notes, ask questions. Um, get more extensive training when you're ready to grab one of those memberships. Speaking of memberships, did I speak about memberships today? Let me cover that. Let me play this commercial for you. Infomercial. It's an infomercial, actually, right? It's giving you information. It gives a good overview of what is available here at AmericanDreamTrading.com. If you've never seen this before, then this will give you a good overview. If you've seen it before, if you've been here multiple times, then get up and go get a cup of coffee. This takes about 5 minutes. Now, for our new members in our Zoom room, listen carefully. You will not be able to see this video play on my Zoom screen. You will not be able to hear it either. Now I can change settings and make it so, but I haven't done that yet. I haven't figured that out. I don't have the same setup Coach does. So this will be playing out to the social medias. Please leave your mics muted because they will still be able to hear you if you talk while the infomercial is playing. All right. Everybody in the paid membership understand. Please keep your mics muted and you will not be able to see it or hear it. You can look at the TikTok feeds. So as a paid member, you have seen these. So here we go. This will take about 5 minutes. If you have questions after that, I'll be more than happy to answer. It gives you a good overview of AmericanDreamTrading.com.
So if you guys are interested in joining us, head on over to AmericanDreamTrading.com. You guys can sign up for a free Discord or one of our paid membership. Our first paid membership that we have is our regular premium membership. With that, you guys will get access to our Zoom. Inside of our Zoom, you will have a live open microphone. You will get live training and trading starting at around 8:45 until market close every day at 4 p.m. when the market is open. You guys will also receive the hot stock pick, the pre-market setup where we go over strategic levels of certain key different stocks throughout the day you can use, and also at the opening of the bell. As a regular paid member, you will also get the IPO Center, so any new and exciting IPOs that come out, you will get them first, plus all the videos on demand. We have around 11 videos to help you get started on your journey with us here at American Dream Trading. They'll go over things like day trading, swing trading, covered calls, cash secured puts, the wheel option strategy, our 2-minute EWO strategy that I have designed and developed from being in the stock market over 33 years. When you're ready to step it up, you can join our VIP membership. By the way, the premium membership starts at $200 a month. The VIP membership starts at $500 a month. With the VIP membership, you guys will get access to early training and trading starting at 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's 12 hours of access to us with some of our self-made millionaires, mentors. And then you'll get training with me starting around 8 o'clock every single day. You guys will get the VIP lounge, all the workshop classes. We put on a workshop class once per month. You will get all of the previous workshop classes and any future workshop classes as long as you're a paid member. You'll also get all the VIP training videos. We have over 50 beginner and advanced videos to help your journey. We also have the TradingView indicators. These are an overlay indicator system that goes on top of TradingView. It will require a subscription, which is about $15 a month. This is my 2-minute EWO strategy. You guys can use this with stock, options, futures, and crypto. If you're a VIP member and you want to step it up to our highest level that we have right now, which is VIP Gold, you can do that for an additional $250 a month. Now, with all of our services, you can buy monthly, quarterly, semi-quarterly, or annual, and sometimes we have lifetime deals on these, so make sure you guys are watching for deals. With the VIP Gold, you guys are going to get all the mastermind classes for free, and we have another one coming up. I will let you know when that is coming. You'll also get 1 hour of tech support where we can remote in and look at your systems and help you get set up with your charts, etc. This is not a one-on-one, but this is to help you get started if you need it. We also have weekend training every Saturday at 11 a.m. If you guys have busy lives and schedules and your jobs, right, are always in the way of you trying to get training, well, we have weekend training. We also have the VIP Gold Lounge access, the VIP Gold Priority Help Desk support. We have our news service where we're giving daily and weekly outlooks of the news. We also have breakout rooms every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. with our other self-made millionaires and mentors, so make sure you guys check that out. Everything inside of the VIP room is recorded, so all of these sessions are recorded for you, including all the training that I had mentioned before. You can catch all of this in the replays only for VIP Gold members, so if you have busy lives, everything is recorded for you. Of course, we have other things inside of the VIP Gold, like the 90-day challenge, the debt-free challenge where we're helping you to become debt-free, and our brand new in beta live Apple chat where you guys can watch one of our moderators, David over there, live trade Apple with the 2-minute EWO strategy that I have designed and developed. He has made currently at this time as of December 2024, he is over $320,000 in profits that he has made using this strategy over the last 2 years. We also have our brand new futures membership membership, you guys will start getting training for futures from noon to 4 p.m. every day, and all the training videos, terminology, everything you need to get started in futures with our futures membership. With the futures membership, you guys also get the trading view indicators. So those are only available to VIP and futures members. Some of our a la carte services you guys can get, you can get a one-on-one with a moderator. We have all of our training videos like the mastermind classes, how to grow a small account part 1 and 2 when it's released, but you guys can buy those from our website. You guys can also get inside of our mentorship program. Our mentorship program is $500 a month. You will sit with me every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern for an hour in a small, intimate group where we can go over larger items or just get you kickstarted, right? Can be IRAs, 401ks, SEP, anything you guys want to talk about, swing trading, day trading, right? Anything that you guys want to get inside of that room. It's just like having a one-on-one with me every single week. And again, those are all of our products and services you guys can get at any time by going to AmericanDreamTrading.com.
There you go. There's an overview of AmericanDreamTrading.com. Doug, there's a message right under yours. If you could take a peek at that, if you could. I don't know if you're able to answer that question I have there. So anyway, AmericanDreamTrading.com. Grab that free Discord. Nothing else, right? Righty. So we've got about 20 minutes left in the trading day. Expect to see some increased volatility. And I think we lost our TikTok feed. I don't know. I can't see there. I don't know if TikTok you can still hear. I got kind of like an error message, but on TikTok app itself. Well, now that's working. So I don't know if we lost. So something went wrong.
No, it's still here. It just looks like it got stuck a minute. There was a community violation comment that got hidden, and that's stuck for a bit. I think we're back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and Nova No-Go says we're still here. So yeah,
Okay.
we're here.
All right, thank you. My end, I haven't got it to. It might just be connectivity. I mean, I'm being able to look at my personal thing, but when I do the live section, it says nothing to look at. Well, whatever. I can't see. If you happen to see a question pop up, please read that out loud if you would. Let me know. All right, so getting to be the end of the day, this is where we get increased volatility. If you're an inexperienced trader, you should not be in the market this time of the day because you never know when things are going to sell off in a hurry or people throw in a bunch of orders and it goes the other way. It goes up in a hurry. You see we're getting a little bit of volatility here. Would I drop into this trade? No, I don't trade in this part of the day. I try to do my best to stay away from it myself, right? It's not meaning that I can't or I won't. I have, but right now I'm at a level that I'm waiting for it to break through. If it breaks through this level, I just glanced over at my chart. So I have a critical level, and it's also found resistance here since since noon. Basically, it hasn't gone much below this, more other than a brief time than this level right now that it's at. Doesn't mean that all of a sudden it can't sell off. So I'm watching this. This might be a good point of entry, but it is a tough one. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, see if this wants to break and hold below this level. I'm just looking at my trading view chart, and look at that. Look at it bounce right off there. Good thing I didn't enter that. I looked over and seen my line because I don't have lines on my charts in here. Historical lines matter. There we go.
Silver's on a triple bottom.
Yep. Oh, here. Now it's going to try to break through. Let me see if there's going to be a pullback here a little bit before I go clicky. Missed that. Missed it. It's all right. I'm in it. Just as a scalp, right? I'm going to slide my stop back just above where it was. Am I going to go in here? I'm making money, right? I can show you all my positions right over here, right? And I can come in here and I can sell this in a hurry if I want to, right? And get out of the trade, right? So that's how you do it. You wait on a break and hold, right? I can leave my stop here. I can slide my stop down, stop myself out if I like. Now you can see the pullback. See, kind of jumped in there. That's at a level. Matter of fact, now I look over my chart. There's a gold level right below that, and that's right where this is at, basically. I got it at 0.2. That says 0.4. I got a level at 0.2 here that's not on here. Again, this is why I don't trade blind. It says the low was 4 and it reversed, but I have an actual line on my chart at 0.2. So I'll leave that sit there for a second. We'll let this see if this plays. If this breaks above the level that it broke through, then I'll get stopped out, right? If this happens to keep selling off here because they're fighting that battle to get through this level, then I can make some money, right? Fake money, of course. This is a simulated account. But this is what you get during this time of the day, right? We're in the last 15 minutes. And this thing could go take off and go to the moon against the grain that's been going against all day, or this can just settle out and come down further, right? It's fighting it in this channel here. There it goes. It's stopping me out right now. So that limited my downside. That limited me to a $4.50 loss because I looked over here. It hasn't disappeared. That's the other thing. Paper trading takes a few seconds, even though I can tell I got stopped out. There it goes. It finally disappeared on its own. There's a delayed reaction to Weeble's paper trading, which can mess with your mind also. It will execute your trades where you tell it to where to buy it, where to sell it. It just takes a few seconds, Eden, by the way, for that to actually disappear off your screen. Don't let that frustrate
Yep.
you. I don't know if you have TradingView. It's a much better experience, in my opinion.
I have TradingView. I just haven't learned how to navigate it. I'm still trying to just learn my own Webull system. But
Okay.
I know when you get on your TradingView tomorrow that I'm gonna copy whatever you got on there, and hopefully I can ask you questions then.
Yep. We have our training. Matter of fact, for the people watching for free, we trained for 2 full hours before we even went live here today. Our members are always getting training on their own as part of their benefit of their membership. We also have within our Discord for our paid members section in the futures, we have a live futures chat when we're in there all day long. I mean, there's always somebody in there talking, right? In the evenings, there's a lot of us in there. We're discussing our trades. Now, we're not telling people when to buy and sell because we're not allowed to do that. And why is that? Because neither I nor anyone else associated with American Dream Trading are licensed financial advisors. We could never give you tax, investment, or financial advice. We're not a call out group. We don't do that. We don't say buy and sell, buy and sell. Now, what we will talk about, we'll talk about levels that I have on my chart. We'll talk about levels you have on your chart, or hey, gold's starting to finally move, get that kind of thing, take a look at it. But none of those things are an inducement to buy or say, go buy this, right? We don't do that. We don't even do that on our chat. And that's very active. It's always in the evenings now. We got a lot more people coming in there playing around trading in the evenings. It's where I do the bulk of my trading is after starting at 6 o'clock, actually around 7-ish, but I start looking. It seems to be a lot of volume increase in the metals and oils as a general rule around that 8 to 9 period. Kind of slows down a little bit around 10-ish, 10:30, 11. I'm usually done I'm pretty much done with the bulk of my trading by 10. And then I get up in the early morning hours and pre-market times and trade some more. Same. So I like that. I like that rhythm there. And it's actually more relaxing for me to trade then. So yeah, kind of. And also another benefit of being a paid member is our members get a weekly newsletter. It usually comes out on Saturdays. That way they have the rest of the weekend to look at the coming week's news. In that, one of the key benefits of that newsletter is it spells out on a day-to-day basis, an hour-to-hour basis within each day, when there are economic news releases. And it's just not the United States. It covers the London markets, and the Nikkei, the Japanese markets, the Australian markets, Germany, you name it, France, markets all around the world. And it shows you exactly what time that these events are going to be released, and we can make money by trading on those news events. Now, we don't know what the results of the news are going to be, so you have to actually wait for it to happen and then be able to interpret very quickly what does that news release mean? What do those numbers they just released mean, right? like unemployment figures. They'll spot out off a number. Is that good or is that bad? Is it better or is it worse? Well, look at that take off. Oof. Russell, look at that thing. That usually doesn't happen with the Russell. Look at that thing. Holy cow. That's why you don't chase candle. Watch. If you jump in this right now, oh my gosh, it's going to the moon. I'm jumping in, right? Bang.
Look at the
I
S&P
jump in.
500, same thing.
Yeah, well, they all are. It's the end of the day, right? So I just, oh my gosh, it's going to the moon. I'm jumping in real quick, right? Look what happened. I jumped in and got up to the top of the candle. So what happens? People get up there and they take your profit. They take the profit and sell off. That's why you never chase a candle, like I just tried to show you there, right? You never do. Now I'm sitting here at a loss, right? Okay. So now people, what happens when the price did just like I did. I'm like, oh, look at that candle, look at that money, and they jump in and then as soon as it gets up there, they sell it off and it pulls back right away. Right now, this could very easily come right back down here to where it was, right? Or they could get into a frenzy and drive it up even more, right? So that's why you don't do those type of things. So that's why you don't do that. Just that's why it's so dangerous to trade this part of the day for that very reason, right? I could have been in a down trade here and look at that thing took off, right? And it'll wipe me out. So it's for experienced people only. Even coach don't trade this time of day. Yeah, guy's been doing it for 33 years. It's not that he hasn't. He just found it's usually not in his best financial interest to do it on a consistent basis. It's not worth the effort, right? So anyway, yeah, I'm not in these trades. I just did that to prove a point why you don't chase candles. You can see that. And as a general rule, here's something that you can put in your back of your hard drive. When you get these large, we would call them a gamma candle if we're trading stock options. So I can still kind of call it that. When you get these big rushes upward, like these huge candles, you can almost always expect a 50% pullback. And you pretty much maybe not quite, well, yeah, it kind of did, right? Now it's pulling down even further. So, and you can capitalize on trades that way. Wait for the 50% pullback before you enter, right? So that's another trading strategy for quick scalps. Again, you got to be a master scalper to take advantage of those type of things. So, anywho, is the TikTok feed still up and active? Can you check that, Doug? Is it?
Yeah, it's still there.
I'm still not. I'm going to close this out. Maybe there's something happened with I couldn't get it to come back up on my end for some reason. Okay.
One of the things I like about the last two candles that I've been watching folks in pre-market do is they'll ride that, they'll scalp off the 9 off of that large candle and then reverse it on the way down when it hit that double top and carry it all the way down. 2 scalps back to back like that. It's pretty impressive to watch them do that.
Okay. Good. Yes, you have to be pretty much a master scalper, right? To be successful at that. Your mechanics have to be spot on. You have to have a sharp mind, fast fingers, quick reflexes, right? So this is the Russell. This is the least of the three in volatility. The S&P, it didn't really jump all that much, did it? In that time period. The NASDAQ will be the one that will have the most financial volatility to your account just because of the way the NASDAQ pays out, and it has the highest ATR, the average true range of all three of those. It pays a lot. You can make a lot of money per move, but you will also exponentially lose a lot of money on every move, and that's why you don't trade without a stop, right? As you can see over here, I have my stop losses already pre-programmed in. So if I was to enter this trade right now on I'm just jumping in here willy-nilly, right? So I have my stops right there. It's ready to go. So if that would pull back because I made a poor investment decision, right? This will come down here when this touches and it will stop me out of my trade, right? So again, this is in a downward trend. Oh, look at that. Now I can lock in profits. Look at that. Boom. Now I locked in those profits that quick. See how that works? Now as a scalper, I would have just clicked buy, sell, buy, sell. So as this climbs, I can move my stop up. Now I'm locking in my profits. Look at that. Look at the money we're making. Fake money, too bad, right? This is what we do with our real accounts, right? We just keep moving them up. That stopped me out before it climbed up there. So, anyhow, that's how that works. Look at that thing take off, right? Can I still jump in there? Yeah, I can do anything I want, right? Paper, it's fake. But you shouldn't do this. You should establish good habits. Here's that line that we were fighting up against earlier, right? Is it going to
Wow,
break
that's a
through
big
there?
line.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. That's a strong. I made that extra big just to prove to do that. Why? Because the Nasdaq's high, right? It didn't even with all this big crazy surge, it didn't want to break through there, right? But because I chased the candle, I'm clear up here, right? That's why you don't do these things, because now it's going to pull back 50% on me, right? And is it going to shoot up there in the last 4 minutes? It could, right? But I got stopped out on that last trade, so
Yeah, me too.
again, paper trading. And again, I don't recommend
Same.
trading this way. It's just too volatile. And what you're going to do is you want to make sure when you're paper trading and reinforcing your brain with good habits, right? Now this thing could really go now if it breaks through here, right? So this thing could go nuts if they want to really jack that up, right? So I'm going to slide my stop up here because I don't think this is going to be very long lived. So I'm locking in my profit. Bang, bang, bang. Look over here. You can see my profits climbing on one little contract, right? See that teeter in there? I probably got it too tight, but as it moves up, I'm going to take whatever I can get out of this. That's it. Stop me out. So I made a whole whatever that says $1.90 on a contract, right? So yeah, you can do this thing. It's not beneficial to your bank account to chase. See the fill there, right? Again, I could still once I'm in here, I'm showing you how you lock in profits, right? And now I'm above that. I set my stop above, and I got stopped out. Oh, wait, oh, it didn't just now filled. That's why. So now I can lock in my profits as I get up here, right? Locked in. I guaranteed myself a green trade up there as it moves because I know I'm running out of time and this is going to collapse here eventually. I'm going up here and moving my stop. Every time I move that up, you see how it says submitted? It's locking in that profit at that level now. I got to let go of it though. You got to slide it up and let go for it to take effect, right? Now I'm stopped out probably there, right? Let's see if it did.
This is what you do all day, like 10 or 15 times, Mark?
Yeah, 10, 15, 100, whatever. However many trades I do in a day, yes, sir. I could go in and out like this all day. If do I want to still play around? I got 3 minutes. Oh, I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to see what I can get next 3 minutes, right? And this is how you wreck your account, right? Look at that. Is it going to go all the way back up there again? Probably not. But what if it does? Well, I'm right there. I can get a couple bucks out of this, right? Oh, no. See how it pulled back? Oh, now I'm going to lose a trade. I got stopped out. So now I lost money. This is just playing around. But could you imagine if you were throwing thousands of dollars at this, right? Okay. That's why you coach. One of his rules was what? You don't play in the market in the last 8 to 10 minutes of the day or the first 8 to 10 minutes of the opening. Those are the two most volatile days. Now, if I was an experienced trader and I was ready and loaded for bear, ready to go, look at all the money you could have made, right? But don't let that fool you, right? You go up here and then you start chasing a pipe dream, right? I can still keep you in here and jump in and out. And that is a downfall of margins that you can do this, right? I can jump in and out as many times as I want to, right? See, there my orders made. Now it filled it, but look at it pulling back, right? I got a minute left in this will probably at 4 o'clock you'll see this thing go crazy really because these technically you can trade until 4:15. So of course we won't be here then. But this is the very reason why you don't. See how violent that went up and how violent that came down, right? I could give it a bigger stop if I want to, but then I'm opening myself up for bigger losses, right? So it stopped me out. This is exactly the reason that we don't trade this type of day. So that was beautiful. I guarantee you we had ADT members in here trading at this time because they are experienced and that's how they do it. So anywho, that's kind of fun to watch, right? It's fun if you're involved in it and you're making money and it's going to the moon, right? You do catch those kind of things during the day. But this is not the time to try to learn that skill. That's for people that know what they're doing, right? That have experience. Can I still play this with a few seconds left? Yeah, I can jump in here. Oh, let me jump in here willy nilly. Let's see what happens. I'll go a few seconds over here. Look at that. Oh, look, I can make money even after the regular market closes. That we have till 4:15. Look at that. I'm jumping in here and making trade. I'm past 4 o'clock, I know. But look, I'm making money. Look at me. I'm the world's greatest trader, right? Until one of them pulls back and rips your face off, right? So best thing is to stay away, right? I mean, I know how to use my stops there to lock in my profits, right? But you could see how many times I got stopped out because it went up and pulled back, right? Now, if I was just looking at these candles this very moment, like, oh, that went up nice and steady, didn't it? No, it didn't. You saw in real time how much that was bouncing around, right? So that's why we don't do that. Anyway, I'm glad you all could be here today. Make sure you click, subscribe to our channel and share our feeds. We are here every day from 2 to 4 p.m. Coach is live from 9 to 11 daily. I'm here from 2 to 4 talking about futures, and Don has the aftermarket show over on our YouTube channel, American Dream Trading. That starts at 5 p.m. tonight. So an hour from now, that starts. You can get more education and training. You can discuss, ask questions. Dawn educates also why she's there, and sometimes we just go over there for the laugh. Sometimes we just goof around a little bit, right? Have a good time. There's more things than to just making money. You can talk about making money too, and have a good time while you do it. So I thank each and every one of you being here. We will see you tomorrow. Don't forget, if you come across the next person you come across today, try to brighten up their day a little bit. You may not know what's really going on in their life, and you may be that person they needed to see today. So I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.